everybody, and welcome to Hex Token channel. Hope you guys are having a good day today. Your boy, your host, Superman in the house. And of course, we're going to have a lot of fun. A big welcome from me, of course. Let's get into the chat. We've got a few people already. We're going to fly through some of the stuff because we've got a lot to talk about. Big Federal Reserve interest rate hike today, as expected. 75 basis points. We're going to talk about that. Go a Pulse win. Hi, good to see you. And Katie says, I'm here, but in the background. A nice one, like that one, Katie. Good morning, Superman. Hi, all says Ted Nelson. Good to see you in the house there. Crypto Dan as well. Hi, guys. And Pulse Beta. Woohoo! It's Superman. Hey, wow. Where it is. It is. It's crazy, crazy stuff. Good morning, everybody. Good. What time is it here? It's 11:36 a.m. on Thursday, the 22nd of September. We're in the future, of course. Christian Colin. Hello, hello, hello. Lau's in the house there. Let's go Bitcoin. One day closer to launch. Woo! We are always one day closer. And I'm sure we are definitely one day closer. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tim Top in the house. What's up, Hexkins? What's up? Good to see you, Tim Top. And Andrew Reynolds as well. Happy Thursday for sure. Bought the dip last night. Says it's primitive. Well done. Well done. Got to give that an applause. That's for sure. Well done to you. Hey, look, we're going to get into the stock market. We're going to do a quick look at crypto. We're going to get into the Hex ecosystem prices. We're going to look at cross-chain prices. We're going to look at the Maximus team and perpetuals, which is absolutely amazing. And of course, then we get into some of the project updates as well, and the Hex daily stats. So lots to talk about today. Hope you guys enjoy it. And of course, always great to be together with the community online here on YouTube. And of course, if you haven't joined our Discord, join our Discord and the link in the video description. I saw they just hosted a little voice chat as well. So lots of activities starting to go on there. I do appreciate all the work that Fat Sammy, Brian, and Sandy Beach and other people do in that chat. So a big shout out to everybody. And of course, Wookie. I don't think Wookie's around, but Wookie as well. All right, let's get into it. What else have we got there? Crypto Pay. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yep, big shout out. They'd always want to take it all and leave us poor, says Christian. Yeah. And world's greatest Hex Pulse Hex ecosystem YouTuber says Pulse Beta. I appreciate that. Big shout down. Got to give that a big clap. Thanks, Pulse Beta. Appreciate that one. There are a lot of great YouTubers out there in our space, but it's good to be up there with that comment there, Pulse Beta. All right, cool. Let's get into it, folks. The stock market today, Dow Jones in a wild ride to end lower after Fed hike rates. You know, man, who writes these things? I don't know. But there we are, Dow in wild ride to end lower after Fed hikes the rates there. And of course, let's have a look at the markets at the moment. There is the chair there, Jerome Powell. Now, I've just released the full video as I've been doing the last couple of months because we're increasing the economic and financial content on this channel because it's more important now. More important as we move from cheap money to more expensive money after having a massive expansionary super cycle of during low inflation. We've got to keep alert about how the interest rates are going to affect more expensive cash and how the inverse relationship to asset values across pretty much all markets will pan out. So we're going to keep watching that closely. So you can watch the full video of Jerome Powell on this channel. I just posted that about 15 minutes ago. All right, so let's get into it. Dow Jones is down 1.7%. So remember, Dow Jones is the top 30 industrial firms in the United States. It's down 520 points, so pretty decent. And that's down to 30,183. So pretty critical level there at the 30,000 mark. And of course, if you recall way back when we were trying to get up towards 30,000, and then we did it. And of course, got pretty high after that as well. In fact, let's have a look at the max on the chart there. You can see on the max, look how high we got on the chart here. Got all the way up to, I'm just trying to find the top there. Hopefully you can do it on the chart. Got pretty high. It won't let me show the top there, but got pretty high there. And of course, the S&P 500 down 1.7% as well, pretty much the same. They're all down about 1.7% there. Nasdaq slightly higher, but the S&P down 66 points to 3,789, so 3,789. The Nasdaq with a lot of the tech companies in it, obviously it's down slightly higher, 1.8%, down 205 points to 11,220. The VIX, the volatility index, so obviously showing the risk off in sentiment is up 3% to 28. And of course, that's pretty much a risk off scenario, obviously, as interest rates go up there. And of course, dollar index there up 1% there. And obviously, the reserve currency still, and it's going to be hard to take that down, but there's definitely scenario for that, I'm sure. And of course, there we are at the moment. So let's quickly jump over to the commodities. We've got oil down quite nicely, which is pretty good. We've got Brent down at 90 and West Texas down at $82.81. So it's not too bad. That's still open too. So there it is on the crude. It's definitely pulled back. Still elevated. There's no doubt about that, but certainly pulled back there. I'm sure the oil producers around the world are having a good time with these sort of price levels. The gold is at 1675 and silver at 1946. So they're all pretty reasonably flat. Still open, of course, on the markets there. And soybeans down 1.2%. So that's pretty much the stock indicators and the commodities. Let's get into some of the commentary. Unfortunately, it's been red lately, so sorry about that. Red and orange is typically not good. Obviously, red's worse than orange. And, of course, we like green is the best, and yellow is kind of almost green, but not quite green. So kind of there you see some gray, that means it's kind of neutral, and purple means it's kind of mixed. I put my little color codes on it. The Dow closed lower Wednesday, though swung wildly between gains and losses as the Fed Reserve raised interest rates and lifted its outlook on further rate hikes, pointing to a period of higher for longer rates. And this is not what we want, of course. That said, I'm still critical about the November rate hike and whether they'll soften that up for the midterms. Because if you look at their policies, their commentary, it's very much aligned with the current administration. Because I think I'm just going to say it, they're pretty much ideologically aligned. And so instead of being neutral, they spin everything that way. The Fed raised rates by 0.75% and signaled that there was more room to front load rate hikes after forecasting rates to reach about 4.4% by the year end. That is well above the 3.8% projected previously. So there we are. That is quite a bit more. So 4.4% by the end of the year. Woo! Those are the forecast rates. 4.6 the following year, I think it was. So it was the medium rate hike for the federal funds rate. So there we are. 75, we got it. We've just moved into the very, very lowest level of what might be restrictive territory. Powell said Wednesday, following the rate hike, in my view, there's a way to go. There's a ways to go. Now, it doesn't mean that they can't do a little softer one next time. We'll see how that goes, because that's generally suggesting aggressive move again. So as they move towards 4.4, we're currently at 3.3 to 3.25, so we've got a bit of room to move there. All right, the Fed also predicted that a recession may possibly be avoided despite its need to speed up hikes to bring inflation under control. And that seemed a bit funny when he said that, of course. But economists at Jefferies suggested that it was hard to believe that the Fed is capable of pulling off such a delicate landing of the economy onto a gradual glide path towards somewhat lower growth, only mildly higher unemployment and on-target inflation. Agree with that. Bond markets were quick to price in the growing risk of a recession as the Treasury yield curve further inverted. Basically, the 2-year Treasury yield over the 10-year Treasury yield inverted to beyond 50 basis points. So you can sort of see the numbers there, 4% there, and the Treasury there at 3.549 on the 10-year. The prospect of higher for longer interest rates weighed on growth sectors of the economy as tech and consumer discretionary fell by more than 1%, with the later dragged down by travel and leisure stocks amid rising geopolitical tensions as well. Obviously, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced the partial mobilization of Russian citizens for the war in Ukraine. That likely ends any lingering hopes of a sooner rather than later end of the conflict. Let's quickly hear from Jerome Powell himself. This is just a little excerpt of the full video, which I've posted here on this channel. Let's go.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I are strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal. We have both the tools we need and the resolve that it will take to restore price stability on behalf of American families and businesses. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve and serves as the bedrock of our economy. Without price stability, the economy does not work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all. Today, the FOMC raised its policy interest rate by 0.75 percentage points, and we anticipate that ongoing increases will be appropriate. We are moving our policy stance purposefully to a level that will be sufficiently restrictive to return inflation to 2%. In addition, we are continuing the process of significantly reducing the size of our balance sheet.
So obviously looking at the balance sheet as well, we're probably going to get more into that on another video. But if you want to see the full announcement, it is on this channel. Check it out after this live stream. All right, so cool. What else we got going on there? Big tech. Meanwhile, also folded is Apple pared gains from a day earlier. Remember with the iPhone 14 doing better sales, while Meta platforms fell more than 2%. So that's kind of the wrap up there for the stock market. And of course, a big day in the office for the federal funds rate there. So we'll see how we go. Now we've got a bit of a window of opportunity, right? Because until the next rate rise. So we've got some economic data I'll be posting at the end of this month, which is in a couple of days. I'll be posting the October major financial indicators. You know, that's another thing. So I'm posting the Federal Reserve videos, posting the financial indicators that will have a major impact on the month ahead, so that you guys can keep it in your time frame. Because if you're thinking about buying in, you don't want to buy in when there's a good chance of some negative news coming out, things like that. So it just helps a little bit with that ebbs and flows as we move into more volatile periods as well. So cool. That's pretty much it. Let's get into see how the crypto fared. BTC at $18,524, down 1.8%, and ETH at $1,250, down 5.5% there, and BNB down modestly there at $264, down less than 1%. So that's kind of how that's been rolling. I'm just having a look at some of the other ones there. It looks like Zcash. Man, we don't talk about Zcash much. Obviously, used to be one of the more major ones people used to talk about. That's at $53.70. How many? Not too bad there. What's this one here? This is Sol there, 23. So yeah, there's a little bit of green shoots around about here. So that's pretty much the market at the moment. So not too bad. ETH obviously down quite dramatically at $1,250. Let's just jump in on that chart and get a little bit of a zoom on there. So this is let's have a look at the last day, and of course we're up at $1,373, dipped all the way down to $1,230, and now we're back at $1,251. So let's see if we get Richard's $750 coming in, maybe October, November. Let's see if that happens. There's a lot of things that need to play out that Richard doesn't particularly have control over, obviously, with the Bitcoin sales and things like this, and interest rates. So at some stage he's got to pick the bottom, and maybe he just wants to see some of the major stuff come out before we do that. So let's see how we get on there in the next few months there, obviously leading into maybe Christmas with a Pulsechain possible launch, maybe early 2023, Q1 of 23. Kind of feels like where we're going to end up, but you just never know. You just never know. We'll find out. All right, we've got a few more comments in the chat there as well. Before we get into Hex charts, let's read some of those. And where are we up to here? So we got Pulsevator says just waiting the Pulse Zen logo. Super, says Pulsevator. Yeah, so you and Stressful Struggle have been doing pretty well with that. So I wish you guys the best on that one. Have Hex limit order set for 2.5 cents, says Hexen from Hexco. And of course, Christian says, howdy, hero. Hey, good to see you, Christine. Always a pleasure. And Lai says, hello, how are you today? Very good. Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLSX for the win. Absolutely, that's the ultimate strategy. We are waiting patiently, of course, for Pulsechain. But in the meantime, we've got, Ethereum Power, and we've got ETF. So Ethereum Fair out at the moment. And of course, if you've got stakes in Hex, or if you've got stakes, staking in Hedron Acosa, if you're staking in, I guess if you got, if you're holding Maxi and stuff like that, then you're gonna, and if you minted your perpetuals team and stuff like that, you've got that all copied over onto these chains. And our wonderful devs, Dipcatcher and Alex, have managed to make the front ends suitable. So you've got all those. I hope you've updated your financial spreadsheets to include all your stakes over there, and you got your copies. Now, some of you may have been trading some of those. Some of you may have been accumulating. Some of you may have been selling down and trying to switch it over to Ethereum, things like that. There's all sorts of strategies going on. But of course, in any case, they're all just earning passive incomes. And now you've just had a multiple of passive income potential. Now, what the prices will be on these other chains over time, we will find out Obviously, we're in a bear market, so the prices could drag down after having a bit of hype at the beginning. And we will see whether they do that or whether they have a bit of a hockey stick. They go down and start rising up after that. So we'll see. But in any case, you've got those for free. And of course, they are worth something at the moment. We're going to talk about that later. It's pretty exciting, right? So update your spreadsheets. Look, you've just increased your portfolio, even if it's a fraction. For example, the Hex portfolio, at least it's increased, and that's pretty nice in a bear market. What other projects have that out there? Not many have anything like that at all, or no one has anything like that at all. But not many have so many of the Hydra. I called it Hydra there because there's so many now out there that you've got, and you just multiplied them by a huge number. So if you had something like 8 or 9 tokens in the ecosystem, then you just become 27, right? 27 is pretty epic, more or less, just depending on how you look at that. At least up to that point, anyway. All right, so we've got lives beneath in there with the emojis. Fat Sammy, Hex Token, family in the house. Hey, family, Fat Sammy, good to see you. Big shout out about Discord hosting those voice chats. Really, really cool. Lost in Crypto says, hello, Superman. Whoop, whoop. Hey, good to see you, Lost in Crypto. Pulsechain says, all this inflation comes from all the free money that was handed out last couple of years for the COVID fast. Entirely the fault of government. Russians' invasion of Ukraine hasn't helped, though. I agree with that. Well, you won't hear the Federal Reserve talking about some of the real reasons with the current administration. So you see, they completely avoid that. They go straight to Russia, and then they go to COVID, but then they hide all the truth and all behind that. That's just part of their alignment there. It's supposed to be neutral, so it should be calling out drivers of inflation, particularly the recent Inflation Act in the United States, just pouring more fuel on the fire. So that's just the countenance to what these guys are doing, right? Let's have a recession for a few months and get it all behind us. It's possible. Now, typically recessions will last for about 18 months, so we really don't want one. Obviously, we're in a technical recession already, but if it deepens and deepens with these interest rate rises, which is what's expected, we could see things turn around pretty fast. Remember, they are looking in the past there. It's very lagged numbers, and it's a very blunt instrument dealing with interest rates. So we'll see how it goes. Check the pulse says, what's up, Hexkins? Bought the dip again, a couple more rungs on the ladder. Well done. Check my pulse, and we've got to do that. A bow down from Superman. Anyone buying Hex and stuff like that, accumulating, that's the way we rock on here. Now, we always do say dollar cost average your portfolio, have a bit of a nice spread so that you can, even things out within our ecosystem, that is, as generally said. Jen Hex in the house as well. Hey, good to see you, Craig, as always. Superman and the Rockets. Love it. Let's get into it, folks. All right, so let's jump over to the Hex charts. Now, Hex has been pretty interesting here. We were actually doing pretty well, right? We got doing pretty well. We got up to 3.3 cents on this particular chart. And then we got a bit of selling came in, and down to 3 cents there, down to 3 cents. And of course, we do have a local low, of course, back here at 2 o'clock my time in the morning, 21st of September. We got down to 2.766 on this chart, but it's 2.5 on one of the other pools, I think. Yeah, there we are. That's what we've got at the moment. And so we've got a new local low since we had our all-time high in September, I think 19th. And around about 52 cents or 56 cents, depending on which charts you're looking at. We end up getting a new local low here and back up at just under 3.1 cents at the moment. Let's see how we get on. It's actually holding up reasonably well, but we're not really in the super severe. Another interest rate rise, it really has got to bleed the markets. And of course, we don't want that cascade failure in the stock market, where you get the 5% down each day, 6%, 7%, 8%. Those are the sort of numbers, and they go bam, day after day after day after day. That's when all Hex breaks loose there. So that's what we're trying to avoid at this stage. So far we've seen a couple of days like that, but nothing particularly cascading. So there we are at the moment on that one. So Hex holding up at the moment, I guess you might say. People dollar cost averaging, which is nice. Maxi, of course, looking like a boss. And of course, this has been my pick for the play at the moment. So my plays are basically this, a Maxi. And then the next play is Pulse Dodge Coin, Pulse Bitcoin. And then, of course, which is, outside of our direct Hex ecosystem. It is a meme coin, but, it's fighting to be number one. I guess there's something in that. And, of course, then, of course, back into Hedron Icosa again and coming up for November. Those kind of seem like the three obvious plays there. Obviously, there's a bit of play on the forks, probably the ETH Power Network in particular, because of the adoption. We'll talk about that in a second as well. But here we are at 2.38 to almost 2.39 Hex per maxi, which is absolutely fantastic. We kind of had a breakout on the chart here at 2.25, and of course away we go, and we've still got a long way to go yet. Let me bring up my timeline. Actually, hopefully my timeline still works here. My counter, I should say. Let's pull this up. Let's see if it's still working. No, it's not. It's reset itself. But we're counting down probably about 4.8 days, something like that, to go. So we're in day 17 at the moment. And so we're still counting down. Still got plenty of days to go for that. So probably about 4.8 days, something like that, to go. All right, so cool. Maybe less than that. Maybe slightly less than that. But there we are. That's where we are at the moment. So 2.4. And, of course, this is on breakout. Where's this going to go? Where's this going to go? I think it's going to go pretty high, to be honest. And, of course, so we're going to talk about that as well. So let's get into some of the activity here. So we talked about Hex and Maxi, and let's jump into where the Hex has had some activity in the whale bot. We had 100,000 Hex nuke 20 hours ago. That was really bizarre. I think we talked about that. 438,000 early in staked as well. That's kind of a bit weird as well. And of course, what else we got going there? 51 million Hex staked for 11 days. Some of these larger stakes. Then we had this. This was the last one we updated 15 hours ago, 8 million buy, and that sort of pushed our price back up over 3 cents. That was pretty nice and got things going for us. Then we had some late penalties there. I think that is. Yeah, penalty in there. And what else there? We had some more. I'm just not going to go through stakes, actually. 30.5 million on the Hex was bought 10 hours ago, so we had another big buy. That was pretty nice. And what else there? 11.7 million bought 9 hours ago. Some nice buying coming in there. And then, of course, 2 hours ago, just to rain on our parade. And, of course, we had our Hex going up nice, if you remember, just to rain on our parade. It's probably this candle here. Yeah, this candle here. We got the big sell. Was this one here selling as well. I'm not sure for that, though, a speculator in there. Lost 14,000 in 6 hours, someone said. Okay, well, there we are. Terrible sell, just saying. All right, so there we are. They got punished, probably trying to swing trade, day trade that. And, of course, they got punished for that one. So there we are. That's just the way it goes. Welcome to markets. Anyway, so let's get on to the team there. Look at that premium. Is that looking like a boss? And it's just on breakout. So let's see where it goes. Let's have a look, refresh of the Maximus team and perpetuals. Obviously, Dipcatcher doing an amazing job out there with this. And, of course, Gold Key, big shout out to him as well. So, you're doing some nice stuff. Let's get into, we got base there at 44.95. So basically 45 million in base, going very nice at the moment on the base. The short-term 12-month perpetual staking pool. And, of course, we've got the T-shares 2,373, 12.14% APY. Obviously, these APYs have been lifting up, getting higher. We've got the trio there, 20, which is a 3-year staking Hex staking pool. It's a perpetual. In other words, it has a maturity. At the maturity, after 3 years, it will have a week of redemption, claiming rewards and redemption and then restaking. The Lucky and Decimus, if I remember rightly from Catch yesterday, are going to have 14 days. They're going to have longer periods where people can mint and redeem and claim rewards and things on these two. So that was a nice little bit of clarification there from Dipcatcher there. So Trio currently at 28.46 million, 2,000 T-shares almost, and 16% APY. Lucky, of course, 28.25 million. Pretty similar numbers now, actually, these two. And, of course, T-shares at 2,000, almost 3,000, almost a 24% APY. Now, the Lucky, of course, is coming out before all of the 2030 10-year stakes in the first month. They're front-running them all, which is pretty funny. And, of course, that's got to have some value to it as well, particularly depending on, obviously, no one knows what the price of Hex will be at that time. But you guys know that we're pretty bullish about where Hex is going with the circulating supply reducing and demand only increasing there. So it's going to be fun to see. Obviously, do your own investment research, but that's pretty much it. The Decimus. Yes. Decimus has reached the target of 150 million. Oh, yeah, boy. That is worthy of huge celebration there. That is outstanding. And that is so good. I mean, that is some crazy good stuff there. That is really outstanding. And, very exciting. Very excited. What else I got here? I got to get some little jingle because I need some little music for that celebration. I'm going to get some little jingle for celebration music because that is worthy of celebration. 150 million. That's the bigger pays better bonus, folks. 10%, and it's hit. Woohoo! And of course, we've still got what, over 4 days, 4.5 days, something like that to go. It's insane how good this is going to be. That's crazy, right? That's crazy. Actually, let me pull up the calculator. I want to just get the sort of the accurate numbers there. I could bring up the actual minting page, I guess. Let me pull that up actually. Maximus DAO. Let's have a quick look at the countdown. And let's go to, what we're going to say, the team, the perpetuals. I think the perpetuals. And we're going to pick a pool, and we're going to go to click base, for example. And we're going to log on our wallets, make sure that we're on Ethereum. You can obviously do this on 3 chains now. Remember, you can mint your team and perpetuals on 3 chains. Yes, you can, sir. You can do it. And of course, massive revenue, passive income. Obviously, the valuations are relatively different, but you just don't know how they could converge. They could end up converging a little bit there. Maybe not quite converging, but could do pretty well. Some degree of convergence, let's put it that way. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's connect to the wallet and let's have a look at the countdown on here. And I got to switch because I wasn't on the right wallet. So let's make sure I'm on the right one. All right, cool. We're going to do that again. And let's see. I've got the countdown. Mint. Has it got the countdown? It's on the team one. It's on the team one. I've been denied. Let's go on the team one then. Next, we have to do this again now. I thought about it. I was thinking, no, it's the team of the perpetuals. I couldn't remember the calculator on there. Let's go to this one. And mint, you can do it. We're going to come up to there. That is awesome, isn't it? 150 million. That is huge. We've had so much drama with this Maximus team of perpetuals. First, we had it with the Maxi, and now we've had it with, look, 4 days and 23 hours to go for minting. There it is, folks. 4 days and 23 hours to go. You know how it rolls. That's pretty exciting. Like, it's not quite 21 days, right? It's almost like 22 days almost. So it's pretty cool there. We're on wrapping up day 17 in a couple hours. So it's kind of like massive if you think about it. More like 21 days, something, almost 22 days. So I had it at 21 days and 17 hours, and I think that's probably not too far from the truth. So yeah, 4 days and 23 hours to go to mint. That's how long we've got to go. And look at this thing, man. It's insane. 20,000 T-shares. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! And the APY is increasing. And of course, here's the total, 252 million. And of course, Hex so far. Our target 600, remember, we want 450 million each. Now, we're not going to get probably an even distribution like that, but the T-share is up to 27,300. And remember that get excited about this. This is fantastic. Spread the word to get involved because this is epic for Hex in the longer term, medium long term actually. And of course, potentially some buying pressure coming into Hex towards the end, I would say at the moment. I thought we might get a bit more evenness with the buying, but probably we'll get, if we get some significant buying, it may come in at the end on the 26th, 27th, for example, maybe even those final three days, maybe something like that. So well, let's see how we go at the Hex chart there. And that's going to give us, now that we've had the interest rate rises out of the way, the market will calm down hopefully a little bit, and then we've got that window of opportunity till the next rate rise, potentially in November there. And yeah, we could end up having a good time. So cool. Let me go 27.3 divided by 42, which is the Maxi whale. We're at 65% of the Maxi super shark there. 30th Maxi is the 30th biggest stake, 15th biggest shark, and we're now at 65% of that. Like a boss here, there's 20,000. Is that awesome? That is awesome. And of course, these are going to show up. Let's go. Let's have a look where these are going to pop up, by the way. Let's go to the Hex stakes and see where they are on the global stakes. This really is a big deal. So we're going to spend a little bit of time on this. Now, we'll be doing results, day number 17 results at the end of today. And if you didn't check out yesterday's video, we had a surprise guest. We had Dipcatcher on the second live stream, and that was a hoot. That was a real hoot. I don't know if you saw the beginning, but it was pretty funny, pretending that he was hacking my spreadsheet. And I was going, what's going on with my spreadsheet? And then, of course, it was pretty hilarious. And then he came in. Of course, it was got hacked by Dipcatcher on the spreadsheet there, so it was pretty funny. But here we are. We've got the Maxi stake out here on the right here. And we, of course, at the end here, we're going to have the new Maximus, or not out here, sorry, it's year 10, so it's 32. We're going to have it over here in 32 somewhere. Where is it going to be? About probably around here. So we're going to have a candle pop up there now. So it's going to be cool, and that's going to be the Decimus stake in there as well. So very nice. That was pretty cool. All right, so let's jump out of there. That is that, and of course, let's get into the team. 59.83 million team. OMG. That is just going up like a boss. 59.83 million Maxi has gone into the team. Now it's kind of self-perpetuating, right? Because scarcity is becoming even more of a thing. And of course, now we talked about the fact that, hey, look, we might get 50 million. I think we were talking about something like that. And now we're talking about potential for 100 million Maxi. I mean, it's always there. I mean, we have had a Hedron deploy going, don't get me wrong, but we've got a lot of these big whales that haven't even moved. There was like 50 of them over 1 million, and some of them have moved for sure, but we've got all these whales that are just watching, and what are they going to do in the last couple of days? They've got decisions to make. Do they want to get a significant position in team? Because you just don't know what's going to happen to premium afterwards, right? So, let's see what happens. At the moment, you can mint one team for one Maxi, but what's going to happen after that? You don't know. If anything, the Maximus has been, Maximus example of, we're going to see more of that because now we've got scarcity. And don't forget that, let's have a quick look at how much this is of the Maxi now. So 59.83 divided by 293.3. That is a massive 20%, 20.4%. So we've hit the 20% mark that we were speculating on at the beginning. And there we are, 20.4. That's amazing stuff. 10% of the Maxi is going to get burned. That's 12 million Maxi. And of course, 30% is going to the Maxi reward pool. Remember, Maxi's got pretty much 4 rewards. That 4th reward is unknown, but potentially it could be new product growth, mysterious airdrops, and things like that. So it could be pretty lucrative part of the reward system, particularly in the first year when the base is really the only one that's paying bigger pays better, and of course bigger pays better and Hedron. And of course, you've got to wait for year 3. But of course, you're backing the ecosystem as it grows, and it could be pretty interesting to see how that plays out there with the 4th revenue source there. Be looking forward to see that. So cool. And then we've got 50% of the Maxis going into the Maxi mystery box, which is now extremely the biggest whale by a long shot. And of course, it's also going to get 100% of the team. So that's going to get copied over doubled. So at the moment, we've got 60 million. It's going to be 120 mil. 60 million is going to mystery box, but it's going to be largely off the market, I'd say, for a long period of time, in my view. This is my speculation. Obviously, no expectations for the mystery box, but I'm not the developer, so I can talk a bit more freely about it. But let's see where it goes. I presume it's just you don't put things in if they're not going to be benevolent. I'm being even more bold these days, but hey, this is the way I see it. Let's see what happens, though. I mean, it may be selfish. Maybe it is selfish. Maybe it does selfish things. I don't know, but I think that it's more likely to be benevolent. And of course, let's see what happens with this. And of course, a lot of that stuff will be off the market most of the time, in my view. If it gets decides to mysteriously drop something or this or that, then that's all good. But it may happen straight out of the gate too. Might happen straight out of the gate. People get a little mystery drop in the reward pool. That'd be not unexpected from my point of view. Or it may happen a bit later in the piece, maybe 2 weeks later or something like that. Who knows? We'll find out whether it does anything at all. But there we are. So that's pretty cool on that one. And of course, we've got 1,680 team minters so far, and they have 58 million Maxi on the sidelines. So very cool. Hedron deploy is number 1, looking like a boss. Now, that's pretty much all I'm going to say at this stage, because we're going to cover this later on in the second live stream. But man, is that fun or what? And of course, we've had lots of cool stuff from the Maximus team here, just posting non-stop posts, which has been pretty nice. The one thing we didn't talk about yesterday was the Hedron deployer has actually minted base trio Lucky and Decimus. So in addition to minting all that team, over 10 million team, as we showed here, the Hedron deployer, 10 million team, still got 14.7 million Maxi, and still holding 9.3 million team liquid there. I noticed that is shorter than this amount, so I'm not sure what the difference is there. But in any case, they've also minted the perpetuals, base trio Lucky and Decimus. So that's really cool. And I think what else we got to say about that? Let's make it happen. 50 million. Reach out. Yep, for Paul. Yep, for sure. Just got the order back. So this is Alpha 2 hours ago. Just got the order back from Maximus DAO Diamond Hand staking for perpetual pools tokens. About to review it on stream now. So that's with Dipcatcher. Awesome stuff. That's really, really exciting and very cool. Decimus is the first perpetuals to reach out to bigger pays better bonus. Woohoo! Great team, great work. So that's pretty awesome. And boom, yeah, 55 million Decimus there 1 hour ago. So that's awesome too. And what else there? I think that's it. So that's some alpha stuff coming out right there for Maximus team. It's well worth covering in depth because this is a big deal for Hex, a big deal for Maxi, and a big deal for team and the perpetuals. It is exciting. If you're a gladiator out there, you are loving this. This is beautiful, and the chart says it all. 2.39% premium, and of course, yesterday it was a high of 243. Today it's been a high of 241 almost. And of course, I don't see this thing relenting with how many hours to go? 4 days and 23. 4 days and 23 hours to go. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. All right, so cool. That is pretty much it. Let's get on to Hedron quickly. And of course, talk about that. Hedron at the moment at 2689. Man, it's had some volatility though, up at 3087. And of course, you can see that in the day. That's where it's pretty much at there. Let's full screen this. And let's have a look at the hourly on Hedron. Now, remember, this is probably having a little bit of a breather after having the awesome run up that many people just were going crazy with. And it's got down to 2689. Now, remember, nothing's changed. The big fortnight payday, as I say, starting in November, about the 14th onwards, is going to be huge. And of course, it's going to be, tens of thousands of T-shares, something like 40, 50,000 T-shares. It's going to be massive Hedron burn, massive ICOSA inflation and payout event. For what's ICOSA and Hedron stakers. Going to be a beautiful thing, and you become a big part of the ecosystem that way, particularly in ICOSA, by getting all that reward if you're staked. So there's a short game and a long game. Obviously, the short game is a price play, but this is kind of my third play moving later on. So we've still got a while to go yet for that. So maybe 7 weeks, something like that, until we get to that point. So it's just taking a bit of a breather, but you never know when the whales decide that this has moved down enough. Which is probably getting pretty close, then yeah, we do have, that window of opportunity between the interest rate rises as well. So we have a bit of a breather there. And of course, November. So I'll try and get that date out about the interest rate rises the next review meeting. But there we are at the stage. So cool. Let's see where it goes. I mean, it could still get down to 2,200, something like that. So it's always still possible. But at the moment, it seems to be trying to hold up itself up over 2,500. At this stage, so we'll see where it goes. All right, cool. I might do a bit more stuff around that later on the old Hedron. We've got ICOSA back at $1, and of course 2 days it dipped down to 95 cents. It's back at $1. Thank goodness for that. That's really good to see. So that is pretty much the highlights there. Now let's jump over to. We're going to move quickly to the BNB coins here. Let's get into that. We got Pulse Dodge coin on BNB. At just over 4 cents, 4/10 of a penny. Sorry, I apologize for that. Has had a high today of 44/100th of a cent, and that's not looking too great. I mean, it's just not much of the charts here looking great here. We've got P33 really struggling. Now remember, this is the team that did Free Pulse. They're doing upgrades to that site, which I think are going to be important. This is a team that did Hot Pulse List. I mean, they've got a whole suite of products. They're really trying to focus on adoption on the chain. They've had two significant sacrifices, I think. So pretty big deal there. But this meme coin is struggling at the moment at just under over 8.1 cents. We got IM there down at 6,800 as well. So all of them pretty much, struggling on the BNB chain. Let's jump to the airdrops. Pulse Dogecoin. This is my next pick. Obviously, this is the next pick for me, in addition to Maxi. And of course, this is currently at $2.80, which is holding up pretty nicely for a launch. If a launch is imminent, that's looking pretty good to me. Remember, this launched at $1. Currently $2.80. And it's had a nice big pullback here, finding some support down here around the $2.50 mark, and it managed to get back up to $2.80 here. Yesterday, it tried to go higher, and of course, today it's still holding up pretty well there. So we have some news for Pulse Bitcoin. And of course, this is from the dev here. Remember, no one can mint new PLSD and dump on your heads. The complete supply is already known and will never inflate ever. And that is true. And of course, and also the supply distribution, no single entity has control over the price indefinitely. Even the largest whales who had to market buy from free claim dumpers run out of selling power. This is what makes Pulse Dogecoin unique and awesome. But here is some of the latest stuff here. You know, Pulse Dogecoin can act as a store of value in these market tough times. No inflation, no infinite whale dumping. It's also a bonus that Pulse Dogecoin will directly benefit from Pulse Bitcoin, which is what we're looking for in terms of the launch. So that's cool. And here is the big teaser, folks. Woohoo! 9 hours ago, every day that passes, we are one day closer to the greatest cryptocurrency the world's ever seen. Pulsechain. Oh, no, it's not Pulsechain. It's Pulse Doge. It's Pulse Bitcoin. Launch is imminent. And, of course, make sure you are following Pulse Bitcoin there. Launch is imminent, folks. So this is the first time I think that they've actually put something out that's actually in the tweet rather than in the header there. But launch is imminent. So this, for me, is pretty much the next pick for next play. Now, it may run in parallel with Maximus if it launches before the 27th. Imminence typically indicates that it's going to be imminent, but we'll see, because they put imminent on top of here. It wasn't imminent at the time. It was like soon, more like soon. Soon's more broad. Soon could be 3 weeks, right? Soon could be 3 weeks. So there we are. But this imminence sort of suggests it's coming pretty soon there. So that's pretty cool. One of the greatest cryptocurrencies the world's ever seen. Obviously, it goes without saying that there are other greatest in their own respective categories: Hex, Pulsechain, Pulse Hex, Pulse Doge, Dogecoin, Hedron, and Love and Prosperity. So that's pretty cool. Get in there, folks. That's going to be pretty interesting. That I think that could do a nice rally. Let's see if it's strong enough to even do something of pretty outstanding. And of course, try and get back to all-time high would be $9.53. And of course, can it get busted $10 with enough FOMO? Let's see what gamification. We don't know anything about the gamification here. If it brings something unique to the market will particularly like that. So we'll find out. All right, so it's cool, speculative, but yeah, potentially going to be a bit of fun there with the Pulse Bitcoin. Very nice on that one. All right, cool. Let us jump over to the other one, of course, is the Weight token. Weight token had its run up for the Coast stable coin, then pulled back all the way back here, down today as low as 0.6 of a penny, back up at 65th, is it 65th of 1 cent? I don't know. That's pretty of 100th of 1 cent. There's a bit of volatility in this one. So yeah, obviously the thing is that they've got to wait for Pulsechain. They've got to deliver, until they deliver all that stable coin stuff and fiat on ramp. But it's exciting what they're doing. Really do like what they're doing. Hopefully they pull that off nicely. They've been working hard on it for about a year. So let's see how they go. 2 Australians and 4 Americans in that team. They seem very, very articulate on their interviews compared to some teams, I must say. But we'll see how they get on. That's obviously most people are waiting. Only about 8% has been minted so far. So cool. So that is pretty much that on that chart. Let's jump over to the wildcards. These are community ones here. Pulsar Beta and, of course, a Stressful Struggle, quite highly involved in this one. So this is still looking pretty good, this chart. I've probably broken the base support there. I need to put a line in there. Probably pretty close to, yeah, probably looks like it's just broken that. But it's still holding up pretty well here. And just under 0.8 of a penny is PZen. Obviously, the founder is Conrad Zen, a well-known Hexkin. And of course, this is where it is at the moment. It's still looking pretty good, even though it's broken. Looks like slightly broken this uptrend here. But yeah, it still looks pretty good to me. Let's jump over to more token. This is from Trayvon. Obviously, Trayvon, well-known as well. And this is at 77 cents. There's a broken support. Broken support. Whoa, 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 whoa. Broken support, not looking the safest chart now at 78 cents here. So just take care there. Broken support here at about 85 cents. And down it's gone. So definitely that is not a great sign. So yeah, maybe it will bounce at some stage, but could be a lot lower, right? By the time it does that, it could get to 45 cents or something. Who knows? So we'll see. Let's have a look at the new forks. So you guys, obviously, if you've got hex stakes and everything else, you've now got it on multiple chains. Now they're all worth different values. Put them into your portfolios. Try to work out what they are so that you treat them with some valuation rather than a speculative things, because You never know where the price will go. So let's have a quick look at ETH-W. This is ETH-POW, as some people calling it. Oh, Hex looking good. Whoa, yeah, boy. Yeah. I hadn't even looked at this. This is actually looking not too bad. And of course, look at that pump there. Wow, over the last 2 hours. And of course, man, you could have got it for 1/10 of a penny on ETH-POW, but no, it's been pushed up to 0015. So 1/1500th of a cent. And of course, I'm just wondering how much can this converge on the Hex price. So let's go to the Discord. Yeah, boy, let's do it. And because we're going to go have a look at the price chart. I put this in last night, so the numbers have changed, but here it is. Wrapped Hex, Wrapped Hex, not Wrapped Hex. What am I saying here? Hex here. Let me think about what I'm saying. ETH-POW, is that what I was saying? ETH-POW there. Let me just think about what I was saying there. ETH-POW. Why did I put a W? ETH-POW. ETH-W. Oh, ETH-W, yeah. ETH-W. Hex only 22x away from EHEX. ETH-Fair or Ethereum Fair Hex only 70x away from EHEX. And Fair Hex there only 3x away from WX. So that's some pretty interesting stuff there. I would add these into your portfolio. Obviously, you got all your stakes are copied over now. I'd put them in your spreadsheet and then keep the prices in there and keep an understanding of what the valuation is. But at the moment, that's looking pretty juicy, man. Look at that thing. Looking pretty good. Now, we're going to get a breakout on this. We're going to get back up because look at this spike up here. This spike was up at 25 hundredth of a cent here. So it was that quarter of a cent. That's a better way of saying it. It was a quarter of a cent up here. And that's pretty nice, man. That's pretty nice. So let's take the price now of Hex. And of course, let me find out what the price of Hex is at the moment. So we've got Hex at 305. So let's do that. .03053. And we're going to divide that by the ETH-W price of Hex. And of course, this is now the liquidity in the pools is relative, right? So just take that into account. I wish that we had the actual liquidity on this particular site. I've pretty much tried to take the bigger liquidity pools. I'll just have to double check on this one. And of course, what am I doing here? Dividing by 0.001547. That is a 19.73x. So even better than yesterday. Yesterday I had 22x. Now it's only 19.7x away from EHEX, which is pretty good. Let's see how much can we close that gap. Is it going to converge? Is it going to be a third? Is it how far will we get? Let me know in the chat there what you guys think about that, because ETH-POW obviously is the better network. So let's go to CoinGecko and let's put that in briefly. So we're going to go ETH-W here. Man, I didn't even plan on talking about all these things as much, so but I think it's probably important. ETH-POW has gone down to $5.47. Remember, it was up like $7 just the other day. So cool. Now, what am I trying to say here? The markets here. Now, this one here has got pretty good network effect happening, pretty good centralized exchange effect stuff happening here. There hasn't been any real big update on the Twitter last 24 hours, but the markets, it's getting FTX, Digifex here, Gate.io, Bybit here, OKX, Bitfinex, Huobi Global, Kraken. So it's got significant exchanges supporting. Obviously, there's money in it for them, but the volumes are picking up there as well. So yeah, it's pretty good there. And this chain could value up Hex quite well. Hex is one of the probably the first big adopter, and of course with all the depth catcher and Alex and that supporting the UI. Of course, you can do Hex through Alex's UI, things like that. So it's pretty exciting. Now you can get access to all these links, of course, in the Discord under useful links. So join the links in the video description below. And of course, you can add ETH-Fair to your network to see your airdrop. I always suggest if you're going to interact with new dexes and swaps to separate these transfer these assets out into on these chains out into a new wallet with its own private keys. That limits your exposure to new dexes and swaps and contracts, smart contracts, in case any of them end up being malicious at all. It's always just good practice to do that, whether it happens or not. So just remember that. So ETH-Fair there, and of course you can add ETH-POW there as well. It's pretty cool. Obviously there's swapping swapping and things like that on respective dexes as well. So you got respective, like I say, but isolate those on a different chain because you always want to protect your ETH chain with the Hex stakes and Maximus and all your value assets. You want to protect those. So don't interact. If you can, just transfer it out and operate that as well. Now you can just add the chains, of course, and see your airdrops on the blockchain, and you can import the contracts into your MetaMask wallet or whatever wallet you're using if you want to see the assets actually in your liquid assets that are in your wallet. So cool. Now the other thing I was going to point out was you can actually see on all three chains. So that's ETH PAL and ETH Fair. You can see all your stakes on Icosa Hedron, and of course this is also good for Hex stakes. You can see them all there as well. So remember, you've got earning Hex on all these with your stakes. You're earning Hedron on all these too. And of course, you're earning Icosa if you've got Icosa staked as well. So it's a pretty amazing welcome to the wonderful world of the Hex ecosystem, because it just got 3 times better. Obviously, the valuations are different, but as we're talking about, that you never know what level conversion we'll have. Will the chains die? We don't know. So there is always the speculative aspect to it. But so far, so good. So far, so good. And of course, people seem to be supporting it with increasing liquidity and so forth. Now, if you want to also do Maximus as well, obviously you've got all your Maximus on 3 chains. If you minted pre the forks, then you've got them all copied over. Otherwise, of course, you can go and buy them pretty much and stake them as well. Maybe be an early adopter. Maybe that pays off for you. So pretty cool. You can obviously do ETH PAL and ETH Fair on these sites. And of course, you can do ETH Maximus there on the Ethereum chain there. So pretty cool. That's all in the useful links there. Hopefully that is easy to follow too. Let's get back into it though. It's pretty cool. So yeah, it seems to be pretty well supported. Now, compared to ETH Fair, of course, ETH Fair, it's ETF, isn't it? ETF. We've got, it's less supported. And of course, you can see the price has gone down 90% there at the moment. So if we look at the markets, you can see it's only got a couple of markets supported. But they're probably a little bit more active on the Twitter today. So we had this one update on Twitter for ETH Fair, and of course the valuation of this may lag quite a bit from ETH PAL, for example. So it's relatively difference there. But ETF there is now on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko. It's got a centralized exchange, global, Kirby Global, Gate.io, Poloniex, etc. MEXC, of course, Bitcoin.com, BitTrue Official. Wallet, of course, BitKeep that came out, and of course we had talked about that yesterday, I think. SwiftCoin is a cross-chain swap there, and aggregated MetaPath there as well. So if you're looking at ETH Fair, maybe you can see that. But of course, we do have a lot of the links in here as well at the bottom under ETH Fair. So it's really exciting, isn't it? What a great ecosystem we are in. Despite prices being on the low side, it's a good chance to pick up a lot of volume and DCA in. All right, cool. So let's jump out of some of those. That is some of the news for ETH Fair there. And of course, we're going to get into Richard Hart in a second. So there we are. We've got a 19.7x to get up to Hex on the ETH PAL. Now, if it can hold that valuation is another thing, of course. There's all those sort of things in it. How much support it gets from larger users and all sorts of stuff. Obviously, speculators come in early on there, and you just got to wait and see. And of course, whether people stake as they do as easily on the ETH chain, where people decide to emergency in stake and all sorts of stuff. There's lots of unknown questions there. But at the moment, of course, it's looking pretty good. The ETF, of course, now we're switch over to that. We've got, the price there, 000411 on the ETH pair there for Hex. And of course, let's take 0.031 divided by this, say, what we got there, 0.000. Now, the liquidity on here is relatively small, of course. So just take that into account. But you're talking about a 75.6x away to Hex there in terms of price. And so let's have a look at my price comment that I made again, just to see whether that's changed much. Where did it go? I've just got to find it first. So why did I say 70x there? So it's actually the price has gone relatively down. So 75.6x now. It was only 70x last night when I said it. Pretty crazy stuff, right? So that's pretty cool. And way to go. All right, so that is pretty much a roundup there. Obviously, there's Maxi and Hedron, stuff like that. Now, if you're on Dex Screener, you want to access the ETH PAL and ETHW. Obviously, at the top, we've got the Ethereum blockchain, which is now a proof of stake chain. That got forked, of course, after it became a proof of stake chain. And of course, you can come down to here. You got ETH Power there in the sort of a white purple there, and then in the dark purple you've got ETH Fair. So you can access all the charts. So here's the ETH Power, and of course you can see that the actual US dollar prices, because the stable coins pretty much crashed on the forks, which we expected. They are linked into the centralized exchange with real US dollars traded on those, and of course this is how they get valuations in terms of liquidity pools. So if you go into like Kyber swap and things like that, they're going to be all fake numbers. You didn't suddenly get rich, you know what I mean, like that. So just take into account there's a better measure here, liquidity. You can filter by liquidity, see which has got the most liquidity in it. Obviously, Hex Hedron here is the leader here, 144. If you want to look at the best performer over the last 24 hours, just check the performance there. You can see we've got something Powell ETH or something up there. Apparently, the liquidity is only $1,000 though, so you know you'll take that into account, stuff like that. So cool. And then of course the one below is ETH Fair there on Dex Screener. And of course, you can do the same. You can match by liquidity there. See the top one, Hex Hedron again, like a boss there as well. Probably getting support as well from the Hedron deployers, my guess. I haven't checked on that chain, but it's probably the same thing, what it's doing on the ETH chain. So cool. Got some neat things happening there. We got Shib and Bone. Shib and Bone. Shib and Bone. All right, cool. We got Hex, of course, dominating. Look at Hex dominating, man. That's what I say. Quick, fast adopter. More value on each chains. And of course, this is a multi-year thing. Hopefully, we'll see how long they last. Obviously, and of course, we'll see whether anyone decides to fork the ETH proof of stake chain. I guess they're going to try and do that. We'll see where that comes off. Bring on Pulsechain. Of course, remember, Pulsechain is a much bigger ecosystem. We're going to have utilities, the big buy and burns. These are major differences. AMM bot harvesting all the dexes. There's a lot of these components all taken together are going to be a juggernaut in crypto. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see that. On ramps, off ramps, multi-dex it's going to be so great. All probably launching pretty much at the same time within, say, a 6 week period, maybe even quicker. So it's going to be cool. All right, so that is pretty much that. Hope you guys enjoyed. That was pretty intense coverage. I didn't even expect to do that, but there we go. And hopefully that's given some nice insights to people at the moment. Let's get into Richard Hart, of course. Like a boss. I hope you like my thumbnail. And of course, tribute to Richard Hart there, $30,000 fit as Richard Hart there. Look at he looks like a boss, man. Honestly, they should actually, you know, I know that Richard probably could, if he wanted to. I mean, he probably doesn't want to, but you can imagine how big a vlogger he would be. You know, you see, was it Paul? Was it those Paul brothers or whatever they're called? I can't remember, but I think it'd be like a super alpha of that, but less silly like them, just more cool silly. It's like that, but very, very cool, and I like that. So I had to put that on the thumbnail. It looks like a boss on there. So big shout out to Richard for that one, man. All right, very cool. So that's some of the cool stuff happening. Now we've got the Hex Daily Stats coming up. So we're going to talk about that. And what day have we got? We're on day 1025. And of course, we got day 1024 hot off the press. I'm going to get a few comments first before we get up to that. So let's see who else has jumped into the chat there. I do apologize for not catching up there earlier. Let's have a look here, see how I'm doing. Lost in Crypto. Hello, Superman. Hey, good to see you, Lost in Crypto. Now, Pulsechain says all this. I think, did I read that one? I think I have read those ones, so I'll jump through those. Stevie D. Hey, Superman and Hexskins. Check my pulse in there. Bought the dip. I think we got up to that one. Hit Gen Hex. We definitely got up to that one. Possibly, I thought a recession was 3 months of negative growth. So a recession is a technical recession is 2 3-month periods, so 2 quarters in a row, which we've had that already. And of course, an official recession is called by one of the official recession officers. I can't remember what it's called now. But that's what the technical one. But typically they last for on average, if they do happen, around about 18 months. It's typically how long they may last. Obviously, if it's severe, it could last a lot longer than that. But Google tells me 2 quarters, which is 6 months a year. Davis in the house there. Good to see you, Davis. And people maybe ending stakes too early to put in a max of perpetuals. A few people might do that. I would suggest that it's not a wise decision generally. But a few people. That's the one thing we didn't talk about with the Maximus team and perpetuals. Those APYs are just for the perpetuals, but of course you got diamond hands coming out too. expected on the 22nd, or within the next say 48 hours. And obviously the audit came back there for that. So that's pretty exciting. What else there? We got Blobfish King in the house there. Hi everybody. Public holiday in Australia today for Queen's passing. And that's really, really nice. And I think we got ours on Monday there, Blobfish King. And holy smokes, look at those T-shares. Locks, was it psyched to be involved in the new Maxi? Yeah, absolutely amazing, man. Absolutely amazing. It's the Maxi. Pulse Unity. Hi everybody. Great day to make some money. And very, very cool. I like that one. Pulse Unity. Good to have you in the chat. And DB in the house there. Greetings, sir. One day closer, DB. One day closer. Ted Nelson says, I'm having a problem with the Maximus linking up on the WNF chain. Scare error. This network not supported. Any ideas? Maybe you could jump in the Discord afterwards, Ted, on that one. We'll have a look at that. I sold half of my Pulsechain on ETH and it sent it back to buy more. Original Pulsechain did the same with PUSD, but didn't make much. With Hex and Hedron and the perpetuals, I will just sit it out, says Possible Beta. KD says, hello, everybody. Hey, everybody. It's good to see that, KD. Christian says, Diamond Hands is a staking pool for speciality perpetuals. Put team in Diamond Hands, the team has to be liquid, meaning not staked. No, Diamond Hands is just for the perpetuals. Team has its own staking. So team, you have to, after you mint your team, you then go and stake your team. So it's got its own staking there. Perpetuals is the only one that qualifies for Diamond Hands. Hello, Hex Token, and everybody says Sandy Beach. Good to see a Sandy Beach in the house. So many live streams today. I missed. Hey, Sandy Beach, at least you're here. That's what really counts. Sandy Beach. That's what really counts. I'm trying to get that all right. Didn't quite get it right, but it's pretty close. What do perpetual staking pools give for staking? More of the same, or Hex or Hedron. So no Hedron because Hedron goes to the team stakers, but you get the bigger pays better access to that, and of course you got Diamond Hand staking now, which could have mysterious airdrops, yeah boy, and of course penalties. So yeah, that's what it's going to give. It's going to be very alpha, I would suggest. Would also big to differ on which coin will be the best launch this month. Says Pulse Unity. Yeah, Pulse Unity is launching. So yeah, we need to talk about more about that. Desi hits 150 million. Yeah, it was pretty amazing, that's for sure. What else we got going there? Proof of work was listed on CDC today, bullish as well. That's very bullish, Brennan. Yes, sir, I'm earning on my stakes already. Nice one, Christian. My next move is to make money out of Uniswap pool. And what is the APY for Hex staking on a POW? It's going to be pretty similar because it's just been forked. So I imagine it's pretty similar to the ETH chain, pretty much the same. It takes a while for divergence, as it were. Thanks, Superman, says Christian. So you can probably just use some existing calculators to work out that. Those that be helping, I'm learning so much from all of you. All this knowledge is for free. That's the best part, says Christian. Absolutely. Get into the Discord as well. People would love to share knowledge and help other people there as well. What else there? Let's get back into a couple more comments, catching up on these. Richard has his napkin still stuck in his pants. That's funny. Hello all. Just had a bed at 8:30 a.m. in Bali, and the more I sleep, the lower the price goes, says Matt. Yeah, well, just dollar cost average, Matt. Dollar cost average. 283,000. Test pulse, any good? Yeah, sounds okay. It's going to all be pretty valuable in time, I'm sure. InvestX in the house. Hello, everybody. Hey, InvestX, I did look at your website the other day. I know you've been launched for about a year now. I need to still get more into that. I'd really like what you guys are doing there. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Trying to maybe hit me up in Discord or something. We'll talk about that, Brennan. Or thanks, Hex Tokens, Sandy Beach. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. I love it. Sandy Beach says, I will be minting my team perpetuals this weekend on the ETH network. Hopefully it'll be fine. Yeah, it should be fine. Like I say, that should be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. Do you know how to end a stake on ETH Power? I have one ending in 10 days. Hey, look, you can do it through ICOSA, the ICOSA app. So if you go to useful links in our Discord, or you don't even know how to do it because you already probably got the link, But if you want to end stake one on that network, make sure that you got your network correct, right? Make sure it's not Ethereum. Make sure you got your network correct. Don't come and cry to me if you chose the wrong network. Make sure you get the right network. But you can use the Icosa dApp there. That's the one there. So you can use Icosa to do that on the Hex tab. Make sure that you have the ETH Power network as selected, and you will see the differences perhaps depending on Icosa there. But yeah, definitely make sure you don't have Ethereum on there if you're going to end stake something and you didn't want to, right? So let's be careful with that one there, Pulse Beta. You may be better off just keeping it in there with ETH Power if it gets more valuable. Maybe a lot more valuable just to have that there. So just think about that one. I know that you may be trying to think about Maxi or something like that, but yeah, just weigh that up. Weigh that up. All right, cool. What else there? Let's jump into it. So I'll post that link in the actual chat there. You can, there it is for your Pulse Beta. Put it in the chat. All right, let's get into the results. We're on. Welcome everybody to the live stream, by the way. If you just joined, we're up to 1 hour and 6 minutes, which is pretty good. I'm kind of heading for about 1 hour and a quarter on these at the moment. We've got day 1024 hot off the press, 21st of September, and price up slightly. Hey, let's take that. Almost 3.1 cents there. Now the rounding's pretty bad on that one, but that's the way it goes. Oh, my payout. Look at this, beautiful. And of course, as Briz says, that Superman loves it more than he does. So that's verbatim from Briz. I just heard him say it. I just heard him whisper it. But 6.33 Hex per T-share. If you're Hex staking Hex, man, that's pretty nice. The T-share $745. The share rate is up at 6.2 to 24,166. The average stake length is 6.61 years, which is pretty nice. APY, annual percentage yield rate, yield, which is inflation, emerging end stakes, EES there, penalties is 38.79. Pretty nice, man. Really good day in the office there. Look at the Hex. Woohoo! It's gone down finally. It's gone down below 400 million there, down 24 million. That's pretty nice. Very nice. And of course, this obviously moves with supply and demand and the price, and of course, liquidity adding and removing. So there we are. Liquidity in the pool, 9.6 million US dollars. We really want to get back over 10 mil because I like 10 mil. Just gives a bit more confidence. Something like that. We've got 1,282 ETH in the pool there. What else have we got there? T-shares back up, 6,166 to 10,410,000. Remember, Hex is easy to understand. We have a reward pool with inflation and with penalties in it. And we have the ownership pool with T-shares, which stands for trillions of shares there. And of course, if either of them go up or down, then the Hex payout per T-share moves around. So that's pretty much how that works. So easy to follow that one. Let's scroll over to the stake percentage of coins. 9.65% of all Hex is staked at the moment. We had an awesome day in penalties, and some of them bizarrely. So some of these penalties, sometimes you feel bad for some of the accounts that have it because you're like, what are you doing? But sometimes I guess wallets get hacked or people make mistakes or there's all sorts of things that people do. And it's just, sometimes it's a little hard. But in any case, the penalties go back to you, a staker. And that's kind of a good thing, right? Because you are a person that's wants staking and deferring your gratification, and you get rewarded. So it's kind of got a good outcome there. So there we are. All right, so look at the growth. We've got current stakers up 68, wallet holders up 5 to 311,000, stakers up 68 to 109,283, and of course we're getting closer to 500,000 total holders, up 267. So it's pretty good, and we're only 2,800 away from 500,000 there. So that's a pretty cool milestone, and we'll take that. The day is currently 1,025. We are 70 days away from 3 years, 1,095 days, and of course, having a lot of fun. Awesome. Now, base payout here per Hex at the moment is 6.15 Hex per T-share without any penalties at the moment. So that's pretty much how we rock and roll. All right, cool. So that's pretty much it for Hex Day stats. The team there, let's jump out of that. We're up to 1 hour and 10. So that's pretty cool. Let's jump out of all that. We're just in Discord now. So there we are. If you haven't joined our Discord, hit the links in the video description. We've got great community. We've got some great moderators. We've got Craig in there. We've got the syndicated channel, of course. We've got the Hex Token channel, Gen Hex, Craig Wadding in there. We've got Heinz Crypto, So 3 YouTubers in here syndicated. We've got awesome moderators, Fat Sammy, Craig, Brian, Wookie, Sandy Beach. There's lots of cool people in there, and really is cool. If you like good information as well, we've got that, useful links. We're trying to add everything in as it evolves. You can just sort of scurry through here and pick what you need. We've got video tutorials. We've got good stuff here. Also on the new token links, if you want to look at Pulse Police, which sort of checks airdrops and things like that. New contracts. We've got Pulsechain news with all the projects. We've got the Sacrifice projects here if you want to check those out. Pulse Hot List, which does kind of an evaluation of those. And I've got quite a few listed here at the moment as well, so you can check out some of those. Now, when Pulsechain launches, of course, we're going to have a lot of passive income projects, and they're going to be very popular. So it's going to be really, really, really cool. So if you like that, at the moment, it looks like there's some sort of voice chat going on in the chat here, which is really neat. People helping other people and sharing ideas and things like that. So very cool. There's Sandy Beach in the house there. Let's have a look at that. So I can't even find the right one there. We'll say hello there. Anyway, so we've got lots of people in the house there. So looking pretty good. Now, don't forget, we're up to 726 members, heading up towards 750. So if you're new to the channel, definitely hit the link in the Discord and join. Now, if you haven't joined as a member of Hex Token, there's a join button. Hit it there if you want to support this channel. We've got Pulsachins, Hexicans, and the Richard Hart Club. 3 just memberships, easy to support. And, of course, if you want to subscribe, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, all that good stuff, because we've got lots of great content. Now, I did post the full Federal Reserve meeting with the chairman, Jerome Powell, on the channel, so you can watch that now too. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, I'm going to play a little bit of video here, obviously from Richard Hart, who did a keynote speech on Pulsechain, PulseCon 2022. It is totally alpha. There's so many little alphas in it. If you're wondering where Pulsechain's at, where Richard's head's at with Pulsechain, things like that, I think gives a lot of really good clues there. His thoughts on Hex price and things like that. So definitely check that out. We've been playing that quite regularly. So let's get into it. We've got a couple more comments in the chat though. I'm going to be back on later on today with the second live stream, and we're going to be talking about day number 17 results for a Maximus team and perpetuals, and going in a bit deeper on that one. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll probably I'm going to do a bit more of a workshop at that time on ETHW and ETH Fair, talking about how to add the mainnet, how to add the mainnets to your wallets, to check contracts and see that sort of stuff like that. So we're going to look at some of that stuff if that's of interest to you, and you haven't done that yet. Maybe you're finding it a bit confusing. Maybe that workshop will be able to help you out too. So stay tuned for that. That's probably in about 5 hours time if you're still up. So cool. Let's get into some of this. We've got a few other things there. Let me just jump through. Thanks, bro, says Pulsechain. Hey, you're welcome. Bring it on, says Matt. Bring it on. What else that we got there? Hex is flawless, says Katie. Absolutely. How much Maxi have you pledged for teams, says Crypto NFW. Don't talk about my portfolio on the channel. Occasionally, I might talk about if I'm actually buying something or bought something. That's about it. Brian's in house. What's up, boss? Bring us up on the stream, says Brian. Good to see you, Brian. We're going to wrap up now, but we may later on this afternoon. We can do all that sort of stuff. We'll probably do some of that then. Matt and Barley says the bunnies for the win. I hope that was Maria's team. I guess second team, says Matt. DGen in house there. DGen Hexkin. Yo. Can see DGen. Catch you all later. Great stream as always. Can you do one on hard wallets, says Pulse Unity. I have got videos on hard wallets already on the channel. So way back a little while. It's not planned on my thing at the moment, but there is a couple on hard wallets on the channel already that I've got in the library there. When is the airdrop of Supercoin? There is no Supercoin, Matt. I don't really want to do a coin. I just really want to keep promoting Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex, and don't want to get distracted with that. The world's a free place. I love freedom, as you guys know. People are free to do what they want, but I just want to keep on the spreading the good word about the ultimate coins and crypto. And I'm sure you can appreciate that. But yeah, fun. Supercoin, that'd be pretty fun. Hey, Brendan's in the house there. Peace, is Brendan. Peace. All right, so cool. Gonna be tough. One was it? I can't see what you're saying there, Matt. Please keep your accounts, trades, amounts private. No docs, says Katie. Yep. All right, cool. Let us get into it. So let's play out. We're up to an hour 15, so I'm going to play out Richard's little alpha drop bomb. I've played this so many times, but it is so good. I played this so many times, but this video is so good from Richard at PulseCon. And yeah, it's got little alpha bombs in it. If you haven't watched it, listen to every little minute bit. It does really cool. So cool. Enjoy that one. Before I do that, of course, I got a little super sticker in there, so I better answer that one. Jesse James, $20. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thank you for everything you do. Hey, you're welcome, Jesse James. Appreciate that. I got to do Superman bow down. There's a Superman down. I appreciate that support big time. Shane says, woohoo. Yeah, definitely. And Brandon's got the woohoos as well. I like that. All right, so a big shout out to Jesse James. And I will catch you guys in about 5 hours' time for the second live stream. Maximus Day 17 results. And, of course, we'll go through ETH Power and look at all that sort of stuff there. It's going to have a lot of fun. Thank you, Hex Token. Have to catch up. See you, Sandy Beach. All right, so let's play out the cool alpha video from Richard Hart at Pulsechain. If you haven't listened to it, it has got a lot of little alphas in it, and it really is well worth watching 10 times. I'm not kidding. So good. All right, bye for now. Take care.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Pulsechain shirt on. Pulsechain ring.
So, am I just talking or what? Am I live? I guess I'm just live. Hey, everybody. I hope the weather's nice and cool out there. I hear it's like 106 Fahrenheit and hot. I have been talking to devs a lot recently, and I guess the next thing you're going to see released on Pulse X is going to be the limit orders. Works fine in the private testnet. They're just going to push it to the main branch, and like we'll be able to test that soon. And the big thing that we're waiting on is consensus improvements. So because my devs are geniuses, they find bugs other people don't know about. So they know about bugs in BSC that nobody else knows about. They know about bugs and the click consensus mechanism, which Pirelli is based on, that nobody knows about. And so, you know, before we launch mainnet, we want everything to be right. And right now we have a pretty cool opportunity because the Ethereum guys finally got to market with something, or are close to getting to market with something, which is their Ethereum 2.0, which will now, once it happens, just be called Ethereum. They won't be called Ethereum 2. And it doesn't release new coins. You're not going to get a copy of your coins on Ethereum 2. It doesn't improve costs. There's no extra throughput. There's no extra gas limit. There's no extra throughput per second. All it does is reduce issuance rate for Ethereum, which is bullish for all of crypto. You know, Ethereum's got half the market cap of Bitcoin. And if you don't have Ethereum miners dumping the price constantly and enriching power companies and hardware manufacturers at the cost of the environment and the price chart, well, that's great. And that's great for all of crypto. And it's also great for Pulsechain. In my mind, the two most important core concepts for Pulsechain are the Ethereum fees still high? Yes, they are. You know, I was looking earlier today, it's still $3 to send normal Ethereum. It's still, you know, 10 or 12 bucks to do a Uniswap transfer, et cetera. And that's during a bear market where, you know, Ethereum already dropped 85%. Bear markets tend to come to an end. So the last bear market only lasted 365 days. This one is going to last a little bit longer because people decided to destroy their balance sheets and buy a second. They didn't want to do the normal blow off top bubble chart. They wanted to do an extra double bubble. And this double bubble, well, it didn't work. Ethereum's capital liquidated, block, you know, Celsius bankrupt. Michael Saylor net negative, El Salvador net negative. Everybody, you know, all those guys losing money left and right. All the people that listen to me, well, they've seemed to have done much better. Called top of the day. You might have heard that before. So basically, with this merge that's coming up, assuming it goes well, which I hope that it does, they've got a lot of audits. They've done a lot of testing on it. Hope it goes well. It doesn't do anything but help Pulsechain. Fees are still high. Gas limits are still low. No one's building out extra capacity for Ethereum. No one's trying to reduce the Ethereum fees except us. And I guess maybe the ETH2 developers that someday in the future will eventually get around to sharding, which has been a dream of theirs for like as long as Ethereum's existed. I don't know, 6 years. And it's great. So it also helps with our consensus stuff, because a lot of stuff the guys did in ETH2 for consensus is useful for us on Pulsechain. And that's the only thing we're really waiting on. So, if you've used the testnet, which I consider to be the best game on the blockchain, hey, you like blockchain games? Guess what, guys? You get copies of all your coins in the pulsechain.com testnet. Go try them out right now. You can trade them back and forth. You can do, it's the same code. So you can do a lot of the same things. And everything else has been really good. Like PulseX, done tons of trades, tons of people doing buy and burns. I've heard nothing but good things about the testnet. So we're basically, because things have taken as long as they have, we're more secure. We're able to improve other projects if we want. Not sure we will. It's just funny. So in my mind, the two things people care about the most in Pulsechain are more coins, more throughput, lower fees. That's the primary value statement. And ETH 2.0 with this merge doesn't give you new coins, doesn't give you lower fees, doesn't give you higher throughput. And so our value proposition is totally clean. I like it. Everything's good. And then the less negative sell pressure on crypto as a whole from removing the miners having to get paid all the time is good for everything. Now, am I bullish on crypto? Not yet. Now remember, Hex ran up 60x versus Bitcoin the first time it dumped from 65K down 55%. So Hex can totally decorrelate from Bitcoin. I think it was kind of bad timing that it looks correlated now, because we had our own cycles, right? There were sacrifice phases. There was other things going on in our own cycles. And so I wouldn't be surprised if some point Hex started doing the same things it used to do, which is just overperforming like crazy. We'll see. I don't have a crystal ball. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, do your own research, etc. But even recently when you saw Bitcoin like break under 20K, which people are really hoping for, they don't like seeing Bitcoin under 20K. And then if you're a technical analyst, there's some things that say like support becomes resistance. And so, what used to be resistance is support in theory, old 20K top, now 20K quote bottom, but actually didn't hold a 20K bottom at all. Didn't respect that at all. Went down to 17.5, is now sitting at it was interesting. I saw the euro and Bitcoin and the S&P 500 all pumped today. I was like, oh, I wonder if they're correlated. So yeah, I think as long as Grayscale Bitcoin's at a 33% discount, which it is, and they hold 1% of all Bitcoin, and the Ethereum merge might be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. I mean, we see lending people that are borrowing Ethereum for the merge, they're paying like 15% APY to do it. And so, there's some people interested in playing this merge game. And I think traditionally in crypto, buy the rumor, sell the new stuff is pretty common, And so with the risk that Bitcoin dumps due to either just not doing its 85% dump yet, which would put it at, a little bit under 11K, and the 33% discount on Grayscale BTC, which has been consistent. I mean, it's been there for months. And the Mt. Gox coins being released at some point. Those guys suck so bad. Just give us a date, guys. Just give us a date. Let's go. Stop screwing around, The comedy, that whole thing. And then we've got the Bitfinex coins they're trying to sell, which I think is like 94,000 coins or 84,000 coins or something. And then we've got Ross Ulbricht's coins, which I think is like 70,000 coins, somewhere between 54 and 74,000. Can't remember the exact number. I tweeted all these, so you can look these up. So we've got discounted Grayscale Bitcoin, which is 1% of all Bitcoin. We've got Mt. Gox, Bitfinex, and the federal marshals probably selling Ross Ulbricht's coins because he signed off to let them do it to pay his restitution. And then normal cycle dump, right? And then maybe buy the rumor, sell the news for merge. So in my mind, it's the dream bottom would be the Grayscale discount goes away. Some of those free coins that are going to get released by law, like the Japanese ones at Mt. Gox, or going to get dumped as a matter of law, which would be the Ulbricht ones, of Silk Road fame. And then it's up in the air whether the Bitfinex ones will really get sold or not. You know, they might get refunded or they might get sold. Who knows? And I think there was 94,000 coins there. You could look it up. So the dream would be those coins get dumped. Bitcoin's deficit to net asset value and Grayscale disappears. And then it does its traditional 11K and pray 85% dump. That's been a nice bottom. And then if they raised interest rates, oh boy, that'd be nice too. Because as long as they keep doing quantitative tightening, QT, it pushes down the stock market pushes down Bitcoin pushes down Ethereum. That's how it goes. And then I like this next cycle is going to be hilarious because with Pulsechain, you know, like look at the situation Bitcoin's in. Is there DeFi in Bitcoin? Comedically, no. Is there high throughput? Is there low fees? Is there a roadmap? Nope. Is there good anonymity? Nope. Now I was just talking to a lawyer today about the Tornado Cash situation. And this, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice, but he says that, you know, the sanction just addressed USDC, which means it could be the case that you can still use Tornado Cash using the ETH address. And as long as you're using IPFS to access the contract, you know, it seems like it should be okay. But if you mess this up, it's devastating. Don't mess it up. Be very careful. Get your own legal advice. You know, of the many things in this world that you want to toy with, sanctions are not one of them. The government takes them very, very seriously. So I would get legal advice from a lawyer before I did anything related to sanctions. So yeah, bear markets don't last forever, right? So if our top was, let's check the chart here, check the chat. So if we call the most recent local top, get on the daily here, in Bitcoin, if we call that November of 2021, and a year out would be, that's November 11th of November 10th of 2021. You know, that's 2 months from now. So if the bear market's only going to last 365 days, that's only 2 months and 4 days from now. Could happen, right? We could dump, make that firm bottom. And everyone else is thinking about this bear market. I'm thinking about the next bull market. As soon as we've got this consensus figured out, and I think we've got a good plan, as soon as this consensus is like executed and fixed on Pulsechain, it's got to be glorious. Imagine imagine all these new people that get to buy a massive dip. So when I got into crypto, I didn't get to buy a massive dip. I got to buy the top. So I bought Bitcoin at 30 and it went down to 2. I was down 93.5% to start. It was like, oh, well, this sucks. Then you just hold. Then it goes up to 1,200, and then it goes down to 200, and then it goes up to 20,000, then it goes down to 3, and then it goes up to 14, then it goes to 4, and then it goes to 69, and then it goes to 17. That's the history. So being able to have so many people, like perhaps the people at this conference, buying at rates that are, 10 times cheaper, like for instance, Hex dipped 95%. Well, golly, that's a good dip. I mean, you could get, if you buy 95% dip, you're getting 20 times the stuff for the same economic energy that a person that had bought previously did. So in theory, that greatly reduces your risk because you're getting so much more stuff. I don't know why in crypto everyone loves to buy tops and sell bottoms, but if you have the opportunity to buy bottoms, like some people bought the big payday dip, well, that was glorious. They did very well on that. Some people bought that $2 dip. I didn't. I just held. But had I been a lot smarter, buying a 90% dip on something that went up another 20,000 fold, yeah, actually went up another 34,500 fold from $2. So it's a lot. It's a lot of extra movement. 34,500x from the bottom of the dip. That was my introduction to Bitcoin. What else do we got going? I mean, some of you guys may notice there was a US credit card on-ramp available for Hex, which would be buytohex.com. What else? yeah, really, we're kind of waiting for consensus. That's the majority of what we care about right now. And we also, the documentary's done. So the highest of stakes documentary is complete, and they're just slapping the soundtrack on there now. So I hear a 40-piece orchestra. I'm not an expert in orchestras. I'm not, I don't listen to too much orchestral music. I guess we all do if we watch movies, because it's very common in movies. And apparently everyone that's seen it likes it. So I think it's going to be awesome when that comes out. So let's see what next year might look like. Pulsechain, PulseX, Hex on the Ethereum network, Hex on the Pulse network, documentary out, incentive token out. Tell us more about the incentive token. I don't know. People probably provide liquidity to it, and that'll be its claim to fame. What's Dogecoin's claim to fame? As a JPEG. This still seems to be a mechanic that works in crypto. What else? Racking my head here. Oh, yeah, the wallet's coming along. Mr. Wallet developer is still building out the wallet, so that's coming along. Anything else? I think that's all I can think about.